Coming to you from the My Little Falls studio here in beautiful Little Falls, New York. It's your host, Scott Kinville, and another episode of Marty's Illegal Stick.
Hey, what's up, hockey fans, and welcome to episode number 4 of season number 2 of Marty's Illegal Stick. Coming to you here on Wednesday, October 27th, 2021. As you can tell, this is a little bit different of a setup for us. This is our first live show, for starters, so we hope you enjoy that. And if you do have any questions, feel free to respond to the Facebook page, and Dave will take care of it for you. As you can tell, I'm off location here. I'm home. I'm injured. I'm currently on injured reserve right now. No way I can make it into the studio, so I am broadcasting from my chair. Anyways, we got a great show lined up for you. Before we bring in our guests, I'm going to bring in our panel real quick. First of all, sitting by himself in the studio, must feel awful lonely without me, is Dave the Save Warner. What's going on, bud?
Not too much. I am lonely. I'm here by myself, but
I see that. I'll have to send you some flowers or something.
Yeah, thanks.
And as always, joining us via satellite is the one and the only. It's the Professor, Jeremy Roberts. What's up, pal?
What's up? What's going on?
Oh, not too much. Not too much. Sitting here in the comfort of my chair, as you see. And our other panelists, working out really well in this show. Need I say more? It's the Macho Dom Real. What's going on?
Boys, what's going on? It's good to see you, Scott. Hope you're feeling better. Dave, I appreciate you doing all this alone.
Yeah.
And it looks like we got quite the guest here today, boys and girls.
Yeah,
somebody just showed up.
This is the best on location I think
half
we've
asleep,
ever had here.
It looks like.
And that guy that just came into the screen, there he is.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on, Coach?
Coach? It's Coach Gary Heenan. How you doing?
I'm just arrived at our comfy home down here at the ABC Center. So got some things to do. Got a big recruit call here in 15 minutes, but it's great to talk to you guys.
Nice.
Well, we appreciate you making the time to join us there. And this is a really cool on location type of thing we got going on here.
Yeah. Awesome. Only at Marty's Legal Stick. Boys
yes. So, Coach, let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
Your boys went 2-0 this preseason, and they look really good. Your team is ranked number 1 in the UCHC preseason coaches poll. What do you think about the team going into the season?
I thought we going into Oswego, which obviously a real heated rivalry for us, and nice to welcome back fans. And it's good for our freshmen and sophomores to experience fans, and Oswego does a great job of that. Always a top 10 team, maybe a top 5 team this year. So I thought we played very well against a big, strong, inexperienced team. I think Eddie will get those guys going in relatively short order. We moved the puck. We broke out fast. We went 4 for 8 on the power play. It was just a real good, solid win for us, being our first game in about 6 months. And then Cortland here, I thought we played arrogant. We had the puck a lot of the night, but I think we had 5 behind the back attempts, which just is very telling to me that, we took a team for granted. And I didn't like how we overall performed. We certainly showed that, we're one of the better teams in our division, just with our strength, our skill, our speed. But if we play like that, that'll bite us. It certainly will bite us this coming weekend with a real quality opponent coming in.
Sure.
Yeah, that's when I couldn't agree with you more, Coach. I mean, watching the Cortland game, you kind of saw the team kind of overlook Cortland, and with a team like Cortland, obviously they're coming into the odd, and we've said it for years. Teams that come into the odd, it's they want to come in hard. They want to go out and they want to knock the top tier team off.
Yeah, I mean, we had a really good crowd for an exhibition game. Really, a couple thousand people there, and you would think the guys would come out, and they did. Our first 10 minutes, I thought, were really good, and then I thought guys are like, "Hey, I should have a couple points by now."
Right.
And so frustration started setting in, and we had some guys check out of that game early. So, the positive is there's a learning opportunity early in the season. That's what exhibition games should be. Mm-hmm. But you can't look past those teams because they will bite you. Mm-hmm. and as you know, Jeremy, being there, it's a 2-0 game, and we give up a shorthanded penalty shot.
Yep.
If that goes in, then we really start squeezing the stick. The guys have been bobbling pucks for and that happens. We're telling our guys, listen, you got to fight the puck here and there. You can't just check out of games. You got to find a way to contribute.
Yeah.
So it did give us some talking points to sharpen up, and really excited about certainly a top 5 perennial team coming in this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, like you said, that I don't know. I don't know if it's Louis Philippe Saint Jean, if out of Quebec, but or out of Montreal. But with that penalty shot save he had, that you saw the change kind of. Like you said, if that puck went in, it could have changed the other way. But with him stopping that was a big save at the time.
Yeah, and it's funny because not many people know this. We started. Felix the Cat is what I call him. For reference.
Yeah, nice.
And being from Montreal, he doesn't like that reference. But, Felix the Cat started. He's 6'5", and at shutout hockey. And when the play was down one end, we slipped in our 6'6" freshman.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. They announced it late. Yeah.
He was actually the one in for the penalty shot, and it was announced as Felix still. So,
it was?
Yeah, so this poor freshman who's loving life, he never even got credit for it.
Oh, no.
Give him credit still. But, it's funny how many people told me that. They're like, geez, you're a monster of a goalie, referring to one. But we actually, we replaced one monster with another. And both played really well. So we're very optimistic about our depth in net. Really good game for those guys to touch some pucks. We gave up some opportunities that certainly a head coach doesn't like. But those guys stepped up, and real good experience for them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, Coach, you tend to have the tallest goaltending tandem in the UCHC, or?
I think in D3 we'll have the tallest for sure. But, as you guys know, we watch a lot of pro hockey here, and
absolutely,
it's pretty rare in the American Hockey League you see someone under 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, it's kind of a new wave.
Just grew on me with awareness and just said, we got to get a couple of those ourselves. Those are two. Those are our 2 additions this year, and besides Buster, who's 6'5" as well. Those are our biggest boys.
That's awesome.
Speaking of the bigger boys, I was thinking, you only got your first short time here, but going into the season, what kind of senior leadership are you looking for, and what two-part question here? Out of the younger group, who are you looking at that's going to be coming up?
Yeah, I think it's one of those. It's really the only time it's going to happen. You got these super seniors,
right.
Years. So we have the super seniors, then we have the seniors, then we have a junior captain, which is a real tell for him. I mean, it was a real compliment to really leapfrog a couple of guys. Dante Zapata, we think, is just
he's a
player. Awesome player.
He's missing the two still.
Yeah. True hockey player right there.
Hockey guy, Dante's at
Beach, California.
Yep.
And, he's going back there every summer with a missing tooth. So I don't know how that works. But he's he's a tough kid. But he can be a playboy when he wants to be. And, he's a real good leader. But to your point, I mean, we are old. We're old. We're an old, mature team. We should have a ton of senior leadership, super senior leadership. And then young guys, of course, we brought in some guys that we thought could complement what we have. And it's just a matter of those young guys bringing up some detail, getting their details in check. It is a different level. They are making those freshman mistakes. But our local freshman had just a phenomenal goal. Shane Murphy against Cortland at home. Did a look away 2-on-1 and absolutely sniped it.
Yep.
And so it was a play like that earns his way in the lineup, because to that point, he was on the 5th line. As you guys know, we're allowed to dress a 5th line just in exhibition hockey. So we take advantage of that, and he took advantage of that opportunity. So I think you'll see him here Friday night.
That's awesome. So, looking forward to Adrian, the big weekend. Yeah, always a tough team there.
It's a Saturday, Sunday. And it's a 5:00 Saturday game and a 3:00 Sunday, so people can get out there, still trick or treat. But we will be offering full festivities here with kids in Sunday free with a costume. And we've got a sorority through Niskoba giving out just thousands of pieces of candy here. If
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool.
That's excellent.
That'll be a good test for you guys early off the season.
Those Adrian boys are going to be rowdy from that long
ride
they got here.
It's been a series for us. We went up there our last time 2 years ago. We won 7-6, 7-6, both in overtime.
Yep.
Prior to that, they were in our rank the year before, beat us. So It's a seesaw series. They're awesome. Very similar team to us. They're going to recruit the top dogs. It's really the only Division III program in the state of Michigan, so they kind of get the pick of the litter up there. But really good right across the border with some Ontario boys as well. Good friends with their coach, highly competitive. People need to understand, and I'm not sure they do, that a sweep of this series or getting swept in this series really puts you into the national tournament or out of the national tournament. Already, and it's our first 2 games. That's how.
Let's rip that Band-Aid off early, boys.
Yeah.
That's what I saw that on the schedule, and I'm going, do I already got to start popping out the gray hair already and screaming, like getting threatened to be tossed out of the odd already first weekend out or what? And it's just already here.
There will be a head coach in Utica not sleeping well after Saturday's game. And I hope it's not me.
Yeah.
One of us will have tremendous pressure to win that second game.
Right.
Because you just can't get swept. You can't, or you're behind the 8 ball big time.
Yeah, it's rough, man. It's brutal. Well, at least you got some play-by-play to focus on now with the Comets too.
Yeah. That happened once. So I think I'm on the docket a couple Thursdays from now, but that was fun. Always is.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that. I think it was last week. It's just a cool way to kind of transition into the eclectic hockey community we have here in Utica, how you can kind of bounce between the D3 level and AHL. And I think you do a great job. I think we all agree you do a great job bringing a different perspective. I think Scott might refer to you as Tony Romo out there, which was pretty incredible.
You are. Look at Tony Romo of hockey.
He did. Yeah.
Maybe I can get some commercial endorsements like he has. Yeah,
there you go.
Air-conditioned golf cart for you there, Coach.
Yeah.
You have a pair of Skechers by chance?
I'll work on that, Coach.
All right.
That's awesome.
What's speaking of the schedule, looking forward, not like predicting anything, but what's like probably the most anticipated game? Obviously, we know the Teddy Bear Toss is a big one. But other than the Teddy Bear Toss, what other anticipated games do you think there would be for the upcoming season?
Well, I don't think you have to look too far past the poll to understand. The coaches' polls got us followed by Stevenson and Wilkes, and I would probably peg those 2 as obviously must-wins for us. We're going to play them on the road first, and then, again, depending on the result of those, that second game becomes huge. So those are going to be dynamite hockey games. Our Thanksgiving tournament is also going to be full of just ranked teams. So we're going to play Amherst College. Legendary Jack Arena is the head coach there. He's been there like 40 years. And then the other side of that bracket is UMass Boston, who was in the national tournament, lost in the final just a couple years ago, and Geneseo, who's been in the national Frozen Four the last few years as well. Yeah. So we've got one heck of a tournament. I had a national U.S. College Hockey Online interview me today, and it was all about the tournament. I can't believe you got these 4 teams coming to your tournament. So, So if you've got family and friends coming in to see it for Thanksgiving, it's a Friday and Saturday night. And that should be dynamite hockey as well.
I'm just glad it's included in the season ticket package.
They take care of the fans. It's all good.
That's right. Coach, real quick before you go, I know you got to go in a minute. Just we were talking about Adrian coming in this weekend. Now, as a coach, do you prefer to play a tough opponent right off the hop, or would you prefer a few games where I don't want to say a lesser opponent, but somebody maybe not quite as tough as them?
Yeah, it's really a great question. I think it depends on the personality of the team you have. I thought as I mentioned, we're an old group, so I thought we could handle Oswego out of the gate. Talking to Eddie before that game, he was like, I got to be nuts playing you guys. You guys are old. You played last year. We didn't. But kudos to him for jumping in there. And, I think for us, sometimes you got to just take the games when you can get them. Adrian was willing to come out this weekend. We took those games. So we could have refused those games and got a couple cupcakes. And, I don't think that serves you well. So we've always been a team non-conference that tries to play the best teams we can. And hopefully that prepares us to go through and do really well in our own league.
Excellent.
Coach, we've got one question in. If you've got a second to answer it, Barry Shelley says,
Sure.
Do you know MV Stars Ron Scales?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So So Scalesy used to be a referee, and he transitioned out of referee where now he's a referee supervisor. So poor Scalesy has to come into my room after games when when we've had one of those calls. And he no longer has hair on his head.
Poor guy.
Scalesy. He's an awesome person, and I understand he was a hell of a hockey player back in the day. But he's great at what he does. He's got that persona and personality where, he can calm me down and kind of just talk about the actual call itself. He can get feedback to the referees, and because we can't talk to the refs after a game, so he's got to kind of come in and get that report, and it's a thankless job, as you can imagine.
That's funny that you say that you can't talk to the refs after the game, and if all the local boys that know local hockey, obviously we saw Mike Verminski out there as a linesman for Saturday's game, and I kept watching him, and he missed a few calls. He did. He missed an offsides call, and I was like, okay, what are you doing, Vermi? I got on him a little bit, and I texted him. I go, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Goes, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I go, you got to call those. He goes, I can't call them all. I go, you have to. You're in your home rink.
That's awesome.
And he's one of the better ones. I mean, Ver's pretty good, and to your point, there's a handful of fans, and I don't know how they do it, but they get my cell phone and they call me after and tell me how shit my power play is. So yeah,
relentless in Utica.
I have not done that to you yet, Coach. I won't do. I let you kind of steam off whatever.
Yeah,
happens.
well, thank you for doing that, because those numbers get blocked pretty quick.
I bet.
It's 1-800 Coach Heenan, isn't it?
Yeah.
CoachesRUs.com.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's great talking to you guys again. Anytime you want to do this, I appreciate it. We're going
Absolutely.
to land our next top recruit.
Awesome.
You guys all look good. Stay in touch.
All right, Coach.
Sounds good, Coach.
Good
Thank
luck
you.
this weekend.
Coach.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right,
Have a
bye.
good one. Coach Heenan, man, he's awesome every time he comes out here.
Oh, what a rip, dude. He's a
He
great
really
guy.
is, I mean, I can't believe people actually call a cell phone after games.
I can.
I can. I really can.
John did.
Yeah, no, I do have Coach's number, but I would never call him to complain about anything.
Yeah.
It's one of those guys. You know him. Like Dom and I do. You don't even really call him after a win if you know the refs were bad. Like you don't even do it.
Yeah, I'll give him his distance for literally anything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I tell you, that's the hallmark of a successful coach when your team wins 5-1 and you're not happy with it.
I mean, I don't, Scotty, were you there Saturday night?
No, I was on duty at the fire station.
So I
had to watch
Gary
it.
called it right, and I watched it. Obviously, I was there, and you did kind of see like you said, the cockiness of the team, and they knew what they were going to go out there and beat Cortland, and they got a little too finessey with stuff, and you just saw things that weren't going right away, where they should just be focused on how to do certain things, like the power play for one, and the power play, wasn't too explosive, but again, it's they had a lesser opponent, and I think they kind of just overlooked them.
Do you think some of that comes from it? We're gonna get into this UC hockey talk. I love it. Do you think some of that comes from kind of like Gary said, like they're an older team, like these guys have been here, they know what they're doing. Do you think some of that comes with that, and it's like, all right, this is just an exhibition game, we're out here, blah blah blah, or do you think it's just like you said, the lesser opponent? It's probably a combination of both.
It's a little bit of combination of both, I think. Talking to some of the boys before Saturday, before Friday, or before Saturday, they're like, oh, I'm not dressing. Like, they had Dixon didn't dress for a goaltender. So, I mean, they were, and he knew he wasn't going to be dressing. He wanted to get the other boys time in the net, see what he got. But you just kind of saw the rest of the boys just like, right. We got this.
Right.
So, I mean, it is a little bit of combination of both because obviously Cortland can come in and bang you up. I mean, they'll lay the body. And they started too late in that game. And I don't think Utica was quite ready for it, but, they handled it well. They did get the 5-1 victory, but obviously there were things to work on.
Right. And it's especially, too, even if, Utica were always, I say we, but the team's always really loaded. It's one of the better teams in the entire country, especially in upstate New York for sure. Anybody that comes in, though, you never know who's going to be looking to lay the wood and kind of make a name for themselves. And that's, I feel like, something that kind of gets overlooked for some of these guys.
Yeah, and that's like I did touch on it a little bit. there are teams that come into that odd and they get jacked up because one, they're playing in the auditorium. Like no D3 program has that.
Most D1 programs.
Most D1 programs don't have that. So, these teams that come in, they're looking off, and now Utica being the perennial power that it is, they're going to come in and they're going to want to, make a statement. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if they lose 5-1. Here we are talking about a game where UC won 5-1, and we're picking Utica College apart.
Right.
Is it fair? No, because they still got the victory. But this is what we expect, and as long as teams are seeing this, that's what they're going to come in and do, and that's what they do. They come in hot, heavy, and ready to rock, and
right.
Yeah,
when the lights come on, they're ready to go.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. That's. I don't know if I've said it on this podcast. You're probably friends with Biggsy on Facebook, right, Biggs?
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember if he tweeted it or posted. It was a couple years ago, but he posted, and he had statistics to back it up, too, how Utica College is rivaled. Like, I think we were in, like, the top 5 for collegiate hockey attendance, like, between all divisions, including Division 1. Like, they drew more than, I think it was more than, than a University of Boston or something insane. It's crazy. Oh, yeah. So, it's like, just like you said, you come in jacked up. They're not used to playing in front of a crowd like that. No. And then especially you don't know who we're going to have, who's a superstar, come in during preseason exhibition. Maybe they're a freshman or a transfer, and then they get on, and then, to use a wrestling term, the bell rang, and everything's out the window.
Right.
So, these guys can come in here. Adrian's going to come in here this weekend. They're going to be out for blood, literally.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got, like Gary said, we beat them out there 7-6, 7-6, both in overtime games. And we weren't supposed to beat them.
Right.
So, they're licking their chops, and they want to be here now.
They got a long ride to think about it too. That's a long.
Yeah. So, it's going to be fun to watch this weekend to see what's going to transpire.
Right. Yeah. No, they got correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't even know how long of a drive. They got a long time to think about it by the time
it's at least a 12-hour
It's got to be, right? 12, 13 hours. So, especially like we said with Gary, right off the clip, you got a chance to make or break your whole season right now. And if every single one of these teams that's going to come in here is going to want to put Utica out of their misery. If you can put Utica down early at home,
it's tough. Blood will be in the water then.
Especially knowing the team's older and you got guys who know what they're doing. That's man, it's gonna be good. Anybody that's listening, if you're looking for some hockey this weekend,
highly recommend. The best part is it starts Friday night. The Comets play the Phantoms Friday night. Yeah. So then you got Saturday and Sunday, and it's just it's a hockey weekend here in Utica.
My buddy Drew tuning in 8 hours from Adrian to the Adirondack.
Oh, it's not that. It's not that.
That's not that bad, but it's still. That's long enough to get angry. It's long enough to get mad.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I hope our boys send them home even angry.
That's a long drive for old people. Come on.
Yeah. Especially the guys who were there last time UC was out there. It's a long time to get angry.
Oh yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. So hey, Jackson, if you hear this, you better get ready to lay the wood.
So, Jerry, you've been pretty dialed in with the team as far as, having the inside scoop and all that. What do you think is going to be the biggest strength of this team coming up this year?
This year, the leadership. The strength that they have with the seniors, and like Gary said, the super seniors with Brett Everson and Jamie Bussell, and I'm forgetting one. Oh, Vaden McManus.
Awesome name.
I love that name.
Awesome name.
So, you got those guys that have been a part of the powerhouse Utica College teams, the Greg Burmaster team, the Roman Emirato teams, the Connor Landrigan. They've been a part of a group that they were winners. So they really don't know anything other than to win. And then you got, Justin Allen, Eric Holland, Nick Yazagari, Sean Dixon that's in net. These guys they're hungry. These guys also had their season cut short due to COVID, which is another thing that has them going so strong and so heavy. So, I think with the leadership that they have and the speed that they have, they added in a lot of bigger guys that could, pretty much handle the physicality, but they were physical before that. So I think just with the senior group, that's the strong point this year right now that Gary's trying to drive home is that, they're an older team and we're here to win it. And that's basically what it is. It's like that every year.
Right. Dom, any thoughts?
Go Pioneers. As far as, I mean, Jeremy kind of covers everything in, perfectly. We kind of think we covered, as far as I'm concerned, the kind of meat and potatoes of what they just have to execute. And that's what has driven me the most insane the last couple of years, and they've fallen short, is they have to execute.
Yes.
And in defense of them, for 1 year, they got crushed in the middle of a heater by a pandemic. But, I mean, who saw that coming?
Right.
That was the most heartbreaking thing. I felt so bad for oh, my God.
I like, Scotty said, when I was so close to the team and, watching them win the division in the odd and, seeing these guys, like Fitzy. Fitzy was a senior and the season's pulled right underneath him. That was his last game. You watch this, you know what I mean? And you just feel bad for those guys. But, they didn't get down about it. They just kind of took it and they pushed their leadership on the guys that remain there and say, you know what, go out and finish it.
Right.
So,
No, I agree. We'll see what happens. The puck drops on Saturday. So
absolutely, and I'll tell you, I can't wait for that the newest USCHO poll to come out. The national poll isn't out yet.
Yeah,
to see where the Pioneers are. So hopefully that'll be out anytime now.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody listening out there, Pioneers are in town Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
If you can get a ticket for it, by all means, do it. The odd is going to be rocking.
It's going to be rocking for sure.
Yeah,
also, share the show and like and follow us on all of your podcast apps. Anyway, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Quick plug.
There you go.
We're also going to get Coach Heenan interviewing right from the Adirondack Bank Center, right?
That was awesome.
That was awesome. I saw him walking. I'm going, I thought he was driving home. Like, okay, he's at the. There you go. He
is home.
Oh, okay. So he's in his second home. There you go.
He'll kill me for saying this. I don't know if he'll ever hear it, but he might. So I'll tell you a quick little bit about that. So the first time I was going to talk to Gary, I was talking to Jackson Rotowski because we're like kind of buddies. We got to know each other pretty well. We got some mutual friends. And he goes, "Oh, it'd be so cool if you guys could do an interview with him in his office." And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, the office is sick." I go, "Really?" He goes, "Well, it would be cool for you. It's not a great place for me to be."
Oh, God.
That's
Awesome. Because it's like his lair. It's where
It
he gets his power.
is. It's a pretty sweet office. I'm not gonna
Well,
lie.
yeah, I would hope they're taking care of our boy. Come on. The house that Heenan built. Let's go.
But Jackson's right. I mean, I'm sure you probably don't want to just go there. You have to be.
No. And Jackson's a knucklehead too, so he'll get himself in trouble. He's a good kid, though. Great kid.
And he's another returner that's got to be ready to rock. He's
I got a clip.
Boy.
I think it's on my Instagram. I can't remember what it is, and Biggsy made a great call. He leveled this kid. I think from Morrisville over the boards into the bench was incredible. And he's not even a big guy. He just throws the body.
He throws the body. Oh yeah. He has no fear whatsoever.
No,
that's what I love. That's what I love about it. Like, it was awesome watching him and Fitzy just throw their bodies around at any given time, and you're like, they're not even the biggest guys on the ice. Like, what are you doing?
No. Well, that's a big thing, I think, and you definitely would have noticed this, and you too, Scott, watching the team forever, is those guys, they'll run through the wall for Gary.
Oh, yeah.
They'll put their head down and just coach says go, gone.
Yep.
It's incredible to watch.
All the players love him, and even the past players still love him. It's a true family bond that Gary has built with him and the hockey program.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's good to see.
Well, I mean, he's such an entertaining guy to talk to too. I mean, and to listen to on TV.
Yeah. I did not watch. What was it? Saturday they were away. I didn't watch the game because I was busy.
Well, actually on the AHL TV, that would have been only the radio feed anyway for the audio.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know how it works.
Yeah, it's kind of weird with that though too, because sometimes they get like off like uncoordinated. So
yeah.
And then the video feed's like 3 seconds behind it.
Yeah, it's like an old dubbed over movie.
It's like watching subtitles.
It's brutal.
Well, good luck to our Pioneers this season. So what we're going to do is we're going to head into our commercial break. But as we always do, we're going to go to commercial break with Breakaway Trivia. Breakaway Trivia is brought to you by Jimmy the Iceman McNeil's children's book, The Red and White Zamboni Ice Machine. To order your copy, email Jimmy at mac_iceman@hotmail.com. I'm in a little bit out of my element, even though I'm home, so I don't have the book with me to show you. But you're gonna.
You didn't bring the book?
It's next to my chair, but I can't reach it right now.
Can't move.
Scott's on ice. That's right. I forgot.
In my injured state that I'm in right now, so you're gonna have to take my word for it. Anyways, This week's breakaway trivia question is: who holds the record for the fastest hat trick in NHL history? The answer when we come back.
Visit My Little Falls and stay connected with the latest news, information, and events in the city and the area. Our mission is to generate interest in the community and connect residents in a more meaningful way by facilitating deeper conversations about how these stories will shape the future of the Mohawk Valley. Join thousands of weekly visitors who stay up to date with feature stories, interviews, videos, our event calendar, and print publication, the Mohawk Valley Express. It's about timely local news for the community, keeping citizens informed about important issues, telling about the people who live and work here, and giving locally owned businesses the opportunity to reach a very targeted audience of locals and tourists alike. It's a whole new form of media-rich content developed specifically for today's mobile lifestyle and listeners. You can download our iOS app in the iTunes store, listen to our country music streaming radio station, or sign up for our weekly newsletter. Stop by today at mylittlefalls.com. You'll be glad you did.
My commercial's back. I feel better already, Dave. The same. Thank you.
I was waiting for you to comment on that.
Yeah, he didn't like the cigars and bourbon one last week.
Well, no, it wasn't that I didn't like it. It's just you called
Oh, you played it? I didn't even see it. I wasn't there.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah. How did that go anyway?
It was awesome. It was an awesome event. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. When you couldn't have asked for anything to go better.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
Good for you guys. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. All right, so we're back with segment 2, Hockey Hot Takes. But as always, we're going to kick off segment 2 with our answer to our breakaway trivia question. You guys want the question one more time? I think you do.
Sure, why not? Do we have a
Who
choice?
holds the record for the fastest hat trick in NHL history? Who wants to go first?
Does anybody have an answer?
Barry has an
I
answer.
I
don't know
do. The only thing that I know about this is that I know it happened to the Rangers.
You're right about that.
I know it happened to the Rangers. I just don't know who it is.
Okay, I don't have a single clue who it is, but I'm going to take a shot in the dark that it happened when they opened up the neutral zone, probably because the game was way faster. So somewhere in the mid 2000s, it was somebody in the mid 2000s.
No, it's going to be it's way earlier than that.
90s.
Nope. It's
Yeah.
like
Oh,
40 years.
okay.
So it's good. It's
It was the
it's
Rocket.
not in
It
the,
was the
it's
Rocket.
not in the 40s.
Dave,
Is
what
it in the
was Barry's
50s? Is it in the
answer?
50s?
Yeah, what? Barry says it's Bill Masienko.
Mosenko. He's right.
Masenko.
Well,
It's a
I
Chicago
right.
Blackhawk.
He said
Yeah,
he
Chicago
learned,
Blackhawk.
yeah,
I
he
want
said
to
he
go on
learned that-
record.
He learned that in his hockey class.
I want to go on record of putting the initials of BM on the internet is dangerous.
Well, I can imagine. Oh boy,
Like I said, Jerry the King Lawler here, folks.
that's right. That's right.
Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Right?
I'm the
Let's
Bobby
go,
Heenan
Brandon.
of the group.
Yes, you wear many hats around here, Dom.
Yeah, Barry says it was
I know.
1952, right?
Our local hockey
see,
historian,
50s.
Barry
There we go.
Shelley.
Yep.
March 23rd, 1952. He scored
Yeah.
3 goals in 21 seconds.
Wow.
I think Barry is
How do you-
Googling it for us.
How do you do that?
You know what? I have no idea.
That's like you got to take a face off in the zone and shoot it at the goal.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Drew, you took a hockey class. Oh, Drew, my buddy Drew, by the way, big shout out to Drew. He's from Ontario, but he's a Comets fan.
Nice.
And yes.
I misread it. It was Drew. Barry
So-
had it. Barry had it right under him.
So they're so he says hockey class. I would assume they just learned about hockey in high school there. I guess I don't know how Canada works.
You know what?
Again, why I should have moved to Canada so long ago.
Dom, we'll have to have him on and he can explain it to us.
Yeah, Drew's a good guy. He's a Habs fan living in Ontario. It's dangerous territory for him.
Man, living on the edge.
Living on the edge. No, he's a good kid. He's a good guy. He's pretty adamant. Would popped in every live stream I ever did, and we talk pretty regularly. He was coming down. We have a hockey class. See, yes, I knew it. Oh, Canada. They me and him talk pretty regularly. He used to come down for Comets games. I don't know if he's going to be able to anytime soon, but hopefully, Drew. Hopefully, he can come down and I'll buy you a drink, huh?
Well,
We'll all
here's
buy
the
one.
funny thing about that. Like, I got to go out and pick up one of the UC parents,
Fair enough.
or one of their fathers, right? Well, he's got to fly in from Toronto to Albany, so I'm going to pick him up in Albany. Then he's going to take a train from Utica on Sunday.
Uh-huh.
This is next weekend. He's going to take a train from Utica to Niagara Falls and then walk across the border and have his daughter pick him up. I'm like, so you can walk across the border, but you can't drive across the border yet? Yeah. And he goes, no, the border's still closed. I was like, that makes no sense.
Wow.
None. 0 cents.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
thought it was open.
That's what
I guess it's not. I guess it's not from one. I don't know how. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm going to blame us for some weird reason because I don't think Canada would do that.
No.
Right. Yeah, well, I'm just glad I don't have border problems. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, you got enough problems on your hands.
You ain't kidding.
Yeah,
I can't
walk.
I can't get across the border of my living room right now.
Here's a question: Are you playing Saturday night?
Probably not.
Toradol. Telling you.
Drew's got the answer for you, by the way.
To what my life.
Oh, he does. What is the answer?
You can drive across on November 8th, but you got to get a $200 COVID test.
Even if you're vaccinated?
I probably.
Somebody's making some money.
So that means
well.
the weekend he can go back across. He's got to wait. So it opens the weekend he's here. But it's not. But it's on the 8th because he's coming in the 5th.
Good. Good.
That's awesome.
Good. Yeah, Drew says even if you're vaccinated, so that's
Jeez.
good.
Wow, that's brutal.
Hey, man.
That's got to be Canadian.
Barry wants to know if the Gump checked you, Scott.
No, believe it. I know there's a lot of times he'd like to. There's no doubt about that.
I've seen him do it here.
Right about at this point in the show, after breakaway trivia, this is where he really usually gets pissed.
Oh, Gump would have never gotten that. He would have been pissed.
No, Gump was probably there. That would have been one when he might have got that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was against the Rangers, so he probably that's the only thing I knew. I knew it was against the Rangers.
Yeah, we all got stupid on him. What can I tell you?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, if you know Gump, that he loves to say, "Oh, you got stupid on me."
You got stupid on me.
Sure did. Heard that a lot when I was a kid. I got to tell you.
That's awesome.
Anyways, happy birthday to Chase DeLeo. The Utica Comets turns 26 on Monday. I didn't realize he was that old.
Neither did I. Seeing him, he doesn't look that old.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And continuing on with the Comets birthday theme, happy birthday to Comets coach Kevin Dineen. Coach Dineen turns 58 on Thursday.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah. You know, I tell you,
big birthday present this weekend.
I guess so, right? Man, oh man, that's no pressure going on your birthday, right? Yeah.
I mean, they're still aren't they still the only undefeated team in the NHL?
Oh yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
And last but not least, another Comet birthday. Jasper Boquist turns 23 this Saturday.
Heavy week.
Yeah. So I'll tell you,
no pressure for
the win
birthdays.
on Friday night. They're going to be doing some celebrating on Saturday, I bet.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, gee, you think? No, not at all.
Yeah, well.
I mean, now I guess the newest thing now they got to make sure that all the fans, if they want pins, they got to stick around for after the game and they're throwing pins out over the glass.
You know, my wife just said that to me earlier. She goes, they're Friday night, they're going to toss them over the glass. I'm like, I really hope they keep the backs on the pins because that could turn into a disaster.
Well, I saw it and I'm going, wait, what? You're throwing pins over the glass? So what dummy's going to throw them back? And then I saw it again. It was like they're doing it after the game. And I'm like, okay, that's better because.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but even still, if it's like
better.
a bad game, that could still, man, oh man.
Well, hey, let's live and learn, right? Must live and learn.
I mean, man, if people are calling Coach Heenan on his cell phone after a game, I can't imagine if they're with pins in their hands.
From the 1,000 holes.
Yeah, the Utica aerators, they'll call them.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. So anyways, guys, let's get into some news. The Chicago Blackhawks sexual assault investigation has been completed, and it is as bad as everyone feared. It turns out the Hawks were compliant in covering up the assault of a former player and as well as a female intern for the team in 2010. General manager Stan Bowman has already resigned, and the team has been fined $2 million. Surely further punishment is coming. What should it be? This one's tough.
Go ahead, Dom. Go ahead, Dom.
Oh, man. First of all, $2 million.
Yeah. I saw that, and I'm like, are you kidding me? New Jersey got fined $3 million for tampering with, was it Kovalchuk's contract?
Right. But this is where I have a hard time with stuff like this. $2 million is a joke. I mean, the Chicago Blackhawks is a joke, right? You could find them way more money for sure. Yeah. But after that, what do you really do? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like something should be done, but what is it? Like Bowman resigned. Okay. They covered it up. Okay. Who covered it up? Like what, as far as the specifics are, if you want to punish those people individually, sure. But if you want to sit here, not that the Blackhawks are going to make a run, they're going to probably get their taints kicked in by the Leafs tonight. But what are you going to tell them? They can't make the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs anyway. You know what I mean? You can't make the playoffs in 10 years when you might make the playoffs again. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, for me, anything like that is always difficult. Something should definitely be done for sure. $2 million is a joke. Like that's nothing. That's pocket change.
Right. You know, the reason I brought that up was because of course, this is Twitter we're talking about, right? So people were suggesting that the Hawks should have to vacate all 3 of their cups, which isn't going to happen.
Oh my God.
Going to happen.
Okay. No.
I'll tell you, I think if the Arizona Coyotes can lose a first-round draft pick for messing with, stuff at the combine, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to have the Hawks lose some draft picks and maybe some additional fines.
That makes sense to me, for sure. Yes. That makes perfect sense. I mean, that was awful, especially for the Coyotes. They don't have a first-round pick till like 2035.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly. They are now the closet dog of hockey because they're not going to find a draft pick forever.
And that's not necessarily true. They've got like 5 second-round draft picks next year because they traded for everybody else's bad contracts. But.
Yeah, they're heavy. But Scott, that makes a lot of sense though, because if you want to punish them, right? They're kind of in a rebuild, right? If they can't pick up any big draft picks and they get fined a ton of money and they can't pay anybody, then they're not going to be successful anyway.
Right.
So if you want to get at them, that's a good way to get at them. Their core is aging for the most part, besides Kubalik and DeBrincat, and they got a couple other guys, obviously. But Patrick Kane's not going to be a young puck. He's not going to be a young buck forever. And then Fleury is showing his age.
Right.
Wasn't he thinking about retirement anyway? Like,
yes.
Isn't he like? It looks like he's checked out.
It's like man, I should have retired.
Yeah. Like, this was a bad idea.
Yeah.
What did I just get myself into?
It's rough. They let Crawford walk and he retires. They bring in McFlurry and he should have retired.
McFlurry.
Yeah. McFlurry. Flowers. They bring in the flower child and he should have retired. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. And I'm not going to say I'm a fan of the Blackhawks, but like I love Patrick Kane. I mean, he's upstate New York boy for the most part, Buffalo, New York. I have his jersey hanging in my closet and I just love their jerseys. But oh man, it's such a horrible situation. So bad.
It is. And the worst part and what's going to end up coming out is that there were people that could have actually come forward during the investigation and said, yeah, we knew. And there were some that just ignored it or didn't respond to questioning or anything like that, which makes it 10 times worse. Right.
Yeah.
It's going to be apparently Joel Quenneville and Kevin Cheveldayoff, who Cheveldayoff's the GM for the Winnipeg Jets. And of course, Coach Q's down in Florida. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with them. Coach Q is actually coaching tonight behind the bench against Boston, and apparently he's going to be meeting with the commissioner tomorrow.
I think this can't wait. Like, especially talking to Q, you can't wait on it. This has to be done now. You can't be like, "Oh, let's wait for the end of the season." No, you have to get this done with now. You can't wait on it. You can't sit here and go, "Okay, well, we'll wait." No, you got to go talk to everybody that was involved with now.
Right.
This has to be handled now. It's got to be handled in a very obviously delicate manner.
Right.
But you got to get it over with. You have to.
And I think what bothers me the most about Quenneville actually being behind the bench tonight is any other job or anything like that, something like this comes up, you're put on paid leave or whatever, You're taking a break until the whole thing gets straightened out and cleared up. Not with this situation. I mean, he's coaching tonight.
I mean, it's probably a good thing that they're in Florida, right? They're not in Boston.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. I mean, imagine if that was in Boston.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you got to be careful with Coach Q. Even if you're going to talk to him in a disciplinary way, if he points that mustache in your direction, he's going to have his way.
It's like a porcupine. I'll just start firing out.
He's got a push broom above his lip. It's such a beautiful muzzy.
Stiff bristle. Stiff
Yeah,
bristle.
one look at him and he tells you what's going on.
Pretty much.
It's a delicate situation, which is gotta hate this.
I know.
I saw that and I'm like, oh, that's not going to be pretty.
No,
and that's bad to say, but the first thing that jumped in my mind was United States Gymnastics.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Right.
That's the first thing that jumped. I'm like, this is not going to end well.
Right.
Because now it's going to be. Is it going to be a domino effect?
Right.
Like one after another with different team after team. I mean, I don't know. I hope it's just one and done type thing. But with something like this, that in this day and age, you're going to have players go, oh yeah, you know what? I'm going to look back at it and go, yeah, something may have happened.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I don't know. We'll have to see what they end up deciding to do, but not a good situation at all. Speaking of no good situations, even though this is much less ramifications than the current or the one we just talked about, each team in the NHL has now played about 6 games. Teams like the LA Kings, Toronto Maple Leafs, and the Colorado Avalanche are off to very underwhelming starts. So, guys, at what point, if you're off to a bad start in the season, do you start worrying that it might be a lost season? And the reason I say that is because at the 15-game mark, you're already about 20% into the season. And if you start off floundering and it continues, by November, you could be a quarter of the way or a fifth of the way done with your season and behind the 8 ball already.
Right.
I don't know when the panic button really is.
After what the Blues did a couple years back.
Right. You can get hot when you get hot, but then when you go cold, you get cold. So it's almost like maybe you kind of want to be cold in the beginning. I don't know. I mean, you don't want to be cold ever, but I mean, if you wanted to choose one, I mean, would you want to be? I mean, look at the Rangers. The Rangers all of a sudden will be cold. They'll get hot.
They're going to
be midway through, and then they get to the playoffs and they get swept. So it's like, where do you want to be?
Right.
I want to first. I'm going to preface this with I'm going to take full responsibility for the Kings start because I had told Scotty that I thought they had a shot in that division because it's off the grabs this year. So this is my fault. I would say it's my bad.
You're all hard, man.
Yeah, I got you. But as far as we're looking at other teams that have been off to a rough start, you got Leafs and Colorado. I mean, with the weapons both those teams have, I'm not going to count them out at all. I mean, everybody likes to get down on the Leafs. I know, like, Drew's listening, he's laughing, calling them the laughs like they do up there. But I'm never counting Austin Matthews out. It's not going to happen.
No, you can't. You can't.
There's no way.
You can't.
No, but 6 games is definitely too early, but you start getting around Thanksgiving.
I was going to say maybe Thanksgiving, beginning of December. You're not straight on panic mode, but you'd start going, oh, okay, what do we have to do? Let's change. Let's just throw people up and down, see if they go the HL and NHL and throw in different chemistry lines. I don't know.
Right. And it's funny, Dom, you just mentioned the 2019 St. Louis Blues. I do have to say, though, listening to Gloria off a jukebox in a bar is only going to work once in a lifetime. Even though I know you want to sing it right now. You're dying to. I can see it.
We might have to have him on sometime. There's a local kid that I know. He moved down to St. Louis and he's an official down there, part of USA Hockey developmental program. Mm-hmm. And he's telling us the story when I had him on my show about how he's reffing in the St. Louis area, right? Obviously St. Louis, there's still small players that are from the area, and blows it. The whole big blowout happens on the ice. Kid ripped the kid's mask off, and in juniors, that's 10 games out. You're gone. And he's like, he sees the name. The name doesn't really mean anything to him at the time, and he goes back, and they're in the locker room, and there's somebody that's banging on the door, screaming MF and them left, right, and center, trying to get in the locker room. And they're like, oh my God, that's Al. Like, Al's crazy, blah, blah, blah. Look out for Al. And he goes, what do you mean? He goes, the kid that you threw out of the game. He goes, the last name was McGinnis. Wait, is that Al McGinnis? They got chased into the locker room by Al McGinnis. Legend of the game. Just crazy awesome individual. Oh, man. Every time I think of the Blues, I think of that story. So shout out Joey Holmes from New Hartford, New York. Awesome.
Oh, that's great. That is awesome.
Yeah. The fandom runs that deep down there, Scott. They're still jamming that song every day.
Hey, that's all right. It's a great song, actually.
Yeah, it's all right.
So, guys, let's talk about something happier, shall we?
Could we?
Yeah, absolutely. Our hometown Utica Comets are off to a 3-0 start. After opening with a 6-2 win against the Rochester Americans, they won 2 close games against the Providence Bruins and the Syracuse Crunch. So, guys, what facet of the Comets' performance so far has impressed you the most?
Jer?
Physicality.
I agree. I was the same thing.
I mean, there's so many people that have been talking to me about, like, oh, wow, you're down there. What do you think? Like, they're actually hitting this year. I'm like, I go, well, one, they're a part of New Jersey. They're not a part of Vancouver, which is Vancouver's West Coast. They're up and down the ice. Now they're in the New Jersey organization, which is, let's just face it, the hardest division to basically get out of alive. So you got to get guys that will go up and down the ice and bang each other. Like, you have to be able to hit. You have to be physical. You have to do this. You have to do these things. And you got to, and what I love watching is they stick up for each other.
Right.
They stick up for each other immensely. Like, these guys are such a close-knit group already, and you can see it. You know, I see them, well, I'm lucky enough to see them backstage, and I'll see them before they even get out on the ice, and they're banging each other into the walls. So it's like they're ready to just go out there, and if they're beating up each other, they can't wait to beat up on another team.
I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, that's right. We should mention that Jared is now a part of the ice crew for Comets home game. That's pretty cool.
Yes, I am.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Last game.
It's kind of fun. You know, you sometimes I don't do the bench side. I'll do the penalty box side, but I've done the bench side once, and it's kind of surreal. Like, you actually got to tell these guys, like, either A, get out of the way, or, you know, like, look out, like, heads up. And they're kind of like looking down at you, like, oh man. And they're obviously, I'm older than all of them, but I'm just waiting for one of them to just like say no, and it's gonna be like, oh, okay, sir. And I'll just like skate around them.
Yeah, with your luck's gonna be ball is gonna shut them down.
I know. Balls.
Dude, you're actually right though, man. They were physical. They're tough. They win anybody. I can't remember who it was for Rochester. Kind of ran at Holtzy a little bit, and half the team was after him. You thought it almost looked like there was guys coming out of the locker room at one point.
Yeah.
You know, and it was unbelievable. And they absolutely 100% do not touch our goalie.
No, that
was so good to see, because the Comets the last few years with Vancouver, they legitimately were getting pushed around out there, and it's brutal.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so it's good to see. The grit is good. They're a fast team, even though that's not the main facet of their game. It's not really the game plan. They're a fast team. The offense looked great last couple games, and then, like you said, the grit plays into the defense. They didn't get pushed around. And something I noticed that really 110% is a massive improvement. And if Gumper was here, he'd appreciate this. I know we kind of had the whole talking about the tape to tapers, but one thing I noticed for sure is they do not give up on odd man rushes. Their back checking is so much better than it's been.
Absolutely.
Every odd man rush turned into even strength real fast. The guys did not give up. They got back. 2-on-1s turned into even. It was beautiful.
Yep.
And that really played a huge factor, and that was a massive improvement on the last couple of years, because if we were in that game where we win in overtime, there's a chance that we lose in regulation because we gave up an odd man rush the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So it was good to see whatever they're doing in that locker room, whatever system they're running, it's working.
Oh, they're gelled. They gelled.
Yeah.
And they gelled fast.
And you could tell, Jared, I'm sure you could see it down there, they love playing in front of this crowd.
They absolutely love it. It's funny. They'll come off the ice and they'll go they'll do the 3 stars, whatever else, and they're kind of like standing around going like, "All right, what do we do? Can we take off our helmets? Like, this is awesome. Like, holy cow! Like, I don't know who's going to like. How do we do this?" And I'm like, "You go out there, like, clap. I don't know. Take your helmet off. I don't care."
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, watching them score and then jump off the boards and stuff, that was beautiful. They had so much fun out there. So that's another thing that drives me nuts. Go to Comets games.
Yes. Yes. These games, that's a different – I understand. There's still a lot of fans that are still a little upset that the Vancouver Comets left. But if you look back at what the Utica Devils were and how good they were and how much they loved to just play hockey, this is what you are seeing now. Yeah. I mean, I was a kid when I watched the Utica Devils, and now the team is back. Like, this is the team that was here. It's resurrected again, where we have speed, we have physicality, and they love to play in front of the crowd.
Yeah, that Providence game was wild.
Yeah, it was. It was. And I'll tell you, guys, too, that the goaltending has been unbelievable. Absolutely. I mean, Nico Dawes wins 6-2 the first game, gets called up to New Jersey, and who, by the way, he won his NHL debut, which was really cool.
Beat the Sabres and the Americans in like
I wonder how much Joe likes him right about now. Joe Conzi.
Brutal. Just brutal.
And then Schmidt comes in, gets his first win. His first professional win.
And slams the door 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, he was awesome.
He was unreal in that Syracuse game. He really
I didn't
was.
see much of that one.
Yeah, I'll tell you,
highlights.
he was the reason that the Comets won that game. There was just no doubt about it.
Good.
Well, I saw that one save that sent off the goal, the winning goal. And I mean, he just sprawled out and it just led to the other rush. And I just saw that goal. I was like, wow. I go, he is on point.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, they're going to have I think they just sent Merrick Matens back down to Adirondack today. So I have a feeling either Dawes or Wedgwood is going to be coming down soon. Obviously, they're not going to leave the Comets with just one goaltender, but it remains to be seen who will be coming down. But I'll tell you, this Comets team is very well rounded, and it's early. It's 3 games in. Don't want to get our hopes up too far too quick.
Right.
But man, if this keeps up, this is going to be one awesome season, guys.
Get ready for some playoff tailgates, boys.
Tickets are still available for this weekend, this Friday night.
Yeah,
tickets are still available.
Definitely.
Oh,
hey, you know what we should do if they do make the playoffs? We should do like a Marty's Illegal Stick tailgate party, and we'll have Dave the Save come up and film it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Woo.
I love it.
Well,
that would be awesome.
Yeah, as long as we can figure out enough space for freaking parking.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's one problem they didn't fix.
Yeah.
I still park in the same spot. I haven't paid for parking the entire time the Comets have been here. Don't plan on doing it anytime soon. So
Don't tell anybody.
not gonna tell anybody.
You don't know what kind of car you drive. That's good. So
All that matters. Shout out Rabesh.
Who's bringing the stakes?
exactly.
No, that would be a blast though. It'd be a ton of fun. Especially that's one thing I feel like a lot of fans maybe would appreciate about. Okay, it's the same team. Like, it's not the same team, but it's still the Comets. It's still Utica. It's still Rabesh in the front office, blah, 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 all that.
Right.
The Comets, when they first got here, everybody loved that smash mouth hockey they were playing, and that's what they're playing again now.
Right.
And then they loved the fact that we had a legitimate Calder Cup run, and you could tailgate and go to the playoffs in the spring. We have a chance to do that again. So all the people who don't want to go, everything you want is here. You just have to accept it. And Jeremy's gone, which is cool.
I think he's probably going to get ready for the tailgate party.
He's going to find the cheapest meats around. He can freeze them. Hopefully,
get them now before they go up.
Right. Yes. Right.
He's going to look at the sell-by dates.
Exactly.
In the freezer now.
Exactly. Yeah. He's checking to see how many takes we're
Go to the
available.
meat market there, Jeremy?
No, it every single time. It always kicks off at like 55 minutes into the show. Every single time.
That's a warning to Scott is what that is. It's built
Pretty
into your
much.
phone.
Pretty much. Well, all right. Since we do have the 2-minute warning, so to speak, why don't we end the segment? We're going to end it like we always do with Website of the Week. Website of the Week is brought to you by 315hockey.com. 315hockey.com is your news hub for all levels of hockey in Central New York. This week's Website of the Week is InsideTheRink.com. Pretty cool little website started by a couple buddies of mine. They're growing more and more every day. So if you want some NHL news and some commentary, fantasy hockey news, and betting on hockey news, check out InsideTheRink.com. All right, we're going to take our last commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to take a ride on that Zamboni Time Machine. We'll see you in a minute.
Need to find that gift for someone special? Visit Little Falls Presents at the Stone Mill and Canal Place. Stop by today to find unique artist work, t-shirts, coffee cups, gift towels, greeting cards, tote bags, koozies, and original oil paintings and prints. It's all about the art of the gift. For more information, visit mylittlefalls.com/shop or call 315-508-5310 for details.
All right, and we're back with segment 3, the Zamboni Time Machine. So I got to tell you guys, I got a little bit different of a setup here going on. I got another computer sitting on the armrest of this chair that I am bound to. So this should be interesting. And I don't have my glasses. So get ready.
God.
Oh, boy. The Zamboni Time Machine is brought to you by Zamboni.com, and the Zamboni name is used with permission. This week, the Zamboni Time Machine takes us back to 1987 when Brendan Shanahan pummeled Rick Vaive. When Brendan Shanahan was growing up in Toronto, Rick Vaive was the captain of the Leafs. Like any kid in Toronto, Shanahan was starstruck by Vaive and the Leafs, and when he was 14 years old, he found himself with a chance to meet Vaive. He was skating in a rink and found out the Leafs were practicing in the rink right next door. Shanny mustered up enough courage to go into the Leafs locker room and ask Vaive for his autograph. The Leaf captain turned the 14-year-old Shanahan down cold. That was cold-blooded. In 1987, Shanahan was drafted by the New Jersey Devils and made the team right off the hop. Right from the beginning of his career, Shanahan gained a reputation for having a scoring touch and being tough as nails. At this time, Vive was finishing up his career with the Buffalo Sabres. In the Devils' first meeting with the Sabres that season, Shanahan and Vive lined up next to each other for a face-off. Before the puck was even dropped, Shanahan would pay Vive back for the autograph snub by pummeling him into the ice. Vive would find out from Shanahan's teammate Jim Korn that it was the autograph snub that caused Shanahan to fly into a fit of rage. In a twist of fate, after their playing careers were over, Vive would introduce his 14-year-old son to Shanahan. Shanahan signed an autograph for Vive's son saying, "I didn't want Karma to come back and get me." And that, my friends, concludes this week's trip on the Zamboni Time Machine.
Where do you get these?
You know, it's funny. I actually just kind of scoured the internet for things like this, and it's
because they're always either completely insane or at minimum wildly entertaining.
Yeah. I try. It's but no, that was actually an article from the Toronto Sun. Not word for word. Basically what I do is I get the information and put it in my own words. But yeah, it was out of the Toronto Sun.
You get to use your creative license.
Yeah, well,
your comedic brain.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway.
Well, he doesn't have a license or a comedic brain, so where are we going here, Don?
Oh, geez.
I don't know. I don't want to know.
That actually explains a lot. So how did you hurt yourself again?
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, man. Well, guys, this has been a lot of fun. This really has.
Yeah, solid episode, man.
Yeah, and I like this live format. I think it's going to work out for us. So, well, if you watched it and you enjoyed it, spread the word, because I think we're going to be going live every week from now on. So,
oh boy!
Be able to
oh boy!
Yeah,
we gotta. Does that mean that means Dale is not coming back on the show?
He wouldn't like live.
Oh, Dale would love to be live. Trust me.
Oh, really? Let's do it then.
Well, Dave, you got the censor button there, don't you?
No.
Oh, well,
I can censor you guys.
Great. Surprised you haven't yet.
Well, yeah. Well, if you're worried about that, I mean, maybe we can have a conversation ahead of time. Be like, hey, man,
we're going live. Yeah. I did. You know what? I should have texted him and told him that we were live, so we could have just watched it live.
Yeah, well, that's the fun part about being live. Like Drew, thanks, bud. Appreciate it. The guy, people commenting and stuff. I watch the comments the entire time. I like to watch what people are saying. It's fun.
Yeah. It's fun.
It's good, especially if something funny, because you can click on it and bring it up on the screen too. So it's pretty entertaining. People say some wild stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have to figure out how to do that, because I got my other computer tied up with the outline and all.
Yeah, it'll be easier for you. When you're not. When I'm not
hobbled.
You're not on LTIR like Kucherov.
Yeah, I know.
Poor guy. You didn't even talk about that.
Speaking of which, did you see that the Lightning announced today that Kucherov's going to be out 8 to 10 weeks?
8 to 10 weeks.
Mm-hmm. So they're not going to try to stretch it out until April.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. I like you said it last week. I agree with you though. I'm not as big on them as you would think people would be this year.
Nah.
They look a lot more human. Even
yeah, they do.
You know what I mean? I mean, they still got a ton of talent on that team, but I think some of the pieces they lost are real big pieces. Like again, Jerry, not to pump his tires because he's a Ranger, but losing Goudreau hurts. It's a big high energy guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
big
Blake Coleman.
Fourth liner again.
They lost a lot of big pieces.
Yanni Gord. You look, and they were saying that the other night, that Tampa Bay's fourth line that would set that spark and score a goal and set the spark for the rest of the team isn't there anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they still have a ton of really good pieces. Obviously Stammer's one of the best goal scorers in the league. Eric Chernak's a stud. Right. Anthony Cirelli, but still, I don't know. I'm not as big on them as I would have been the last couple of years. The last 2 years, even the last 3 years, they looked unbeatable.
Right.
Now they
look human, good, like you said.
Yeah. They're a good team. I don't see the league right now as it stands. I know we're not too far into the season. It's only been a few games, but there is not a team that looks overwhelming in my opinion.
No, not at all.
Losing Big G is a killer for them for sure.
Oh yeah.
That's another Vaughn also at the story I told earlier about Joey Holmes. He referees down in St. Louis. He's a good old St. Louis kid, so he knows his Blues hockey pretty well. But yeah, no, Vaughn, I completely agree. It's tough, and we'll see. I don't know. I'd like to see them not 3-peat. I don't want to deal with that.
All right.
No,
it's just the NBA. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, right. Speaking of Florida, the state of Florida, we'll see how if Coach Q has to miss any time or if he's let go, how that's going to affect the Panthers too.
Yeah, that's a fun little group they got there. I like that team. They got a lot of talent on that team.
Yeah, they do.
I wanted
they
them to
do.
beat Tampa so bad.
I know, right?
I wanted them to beat Tampa so
know.
bad.
I was watching them like I go, Florida's got this. It's easy. Let's go.
Oh, jeez. Great.
Well, guys, I think we're going to wrap this up. But before we go, I do want to let you know that we're in the last week of our contest. Don't forget, we have our contest for the autographed copy of Crossing the Line, Derek Sanderson's autobiography that was also co-written by Kevin Shea, who signed it for us. To enter that contest, all you got to do is go to martysillegalstick.com, enter your email address into our email army, and you'll be entered to win. We'll announce the winner next week right on this show. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right.
Love giving away free stuff.
Yeah. And speaking of martysillegalstick.com, don't forget to check that every day because we're putting out news and articles on that every day now, and we're having a lot of fun doing it. You can also find us on the Facebook and on Twitter at Marty's Illegal Stick Hockey Podcast, and we're on all major podcast platforms under My Little Falls. All right, so for Dave the Say Warner, for Jeremy the Professor Roberts, and for the Macho Dom Real, I'm Scott Kinville. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Rocking and shocking, baby.
It's about the best I can do right now.